further down. There's so many details. Okay. There's the chess set. Ooh! All the effects are working as well. Like, it does smell like a nice hotel room. That's like the caterpillar. Who are you? There's the frog, and then there's the lion. Hey! The Cheshire cat. Some of this, like, so many details everywhere you look. The table, I never noticed that. The walls and the carpets. There's so much movement. There's the dragonfly, the flowers. Big mushroom. Hey! Oh no! Not the castle. Oh. All the effects are working. The soundtrack always likes it. The badgers. Hey. You just like, your eyes are darting around to look at everything. There's so many little details. Upside down room. Cuddly rabbit. Cards. Hey. Looks so much fresher now. Look at the facade. All the fountains as well. Hello and welcome to a new vlog from Blackpool Pleasure Beach here in September. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting on some of my favourite rides in the UK, my favourite park in the UK. I've just been on my first two rides. Alice in Wonderland, which I actually managed to do a POV on this time, there with the Ristra. The details in there is incredible. I tried to look at everything. I mean, I was looking around kind of every small detail in there. Like the lion, if you look at the frog, you don't see the lion. There's a lot of details in there. Then I just had a go on Nickelodeon Streak. I was the back row of the second car on there. So it was a wheel seat and it was running brutal. I don't think I've ever had a ride that brutal, because it's normally really smooth, but I know I did some retracking on it, but yeah, that was really, really intense. The airtime on the first drop and the first two airtime hills was fantastic. It was going really fast around the turnaround. And then the airtime hills on the way back, I was basically getting stand-up ejector airtime. It was incredible, because obviously it's quite a loose lap bar between the two seats on this. Yeah, you got some fantastic other wooden coasters here, Big Dipper and Grand National. Can't wait to check out. Big Dipper's had some refurbishments and Grand National's mental. And probably the ride I'm looking forward to the most here is Valhalla. It reopened for this year. I am so excited to get back on it. It opens at 12 o'clock. And it's 11:13, so it's less than an hour now to get on that. I think I'm going to do Big Dipper next, because I can't wait to see how that rides with a lot of retracking on. This has had a small bit, but that's had a lot of the layout retracked, as well as a repaint. It looks beautiful. There's also like dart rides, Wallace and Gromit, which is incredible. I can't wait to get on a bit more of a modern dart ride. Same with Valhalla. And then you got the classics like River Caves, Ghost Train, and of course Alice, which I've been on. River Caves is my personal favourite out of the 4 dart rides. Sort of original dart rides and, you know, more traditional dart rides. Even Wallace and Gromit, as much as it's modern, it's still more of a traditional one. And then of course Valhalla, I know that's going to be my favourite. Looks incredible, really does. But yeah, and of course you got the big one and I can't wait. It's my favourite park in the UK. I am really looking forward to this. Some of my favourite coasters in the UK. Can't wait to get back on the big one. It's a Twilight Thrills event, so the park's open till 9 o'clock, which means some great night rides. Also Icon, I'm hoping to do Enzo today, the spinning seat, which opens at 3 o'clock and is on till the park closes. Big Dipper. Hey.
Some of the best soundtracks. River Caves. I love the interaction with the other boats as well. It just has a feel of nostalgia in here. That's a summer kind of poking right there. There's the best soundtrack, here we go. Ooh, elephant. Wallace and Gromit travelling above here, but you never know. It's just so relaxing there. Soundtrack in there. There's a scale of these stadium pieces in here for its age, and then just the amount of detail that's been put into it. And the best scene on the whole ride. Probably one of the best dart ride scenes in the country. The kinetic energy in there. monkeys, man. There's so much movement, and here we go. This is the intense bit, really. You're trying to get a soundtrack. There we go. That doesn't get shown on vlogs that often. Then you've got the face. Oh, there we go. I like the horses, like oh, it just picks up some speed around there. Oh, that's a little model of the temple in there. I never really noticed it. Here we go. Now, where's it going to be? Water wheel. Here we go. Ooh! Bit of a light sprinkle, but it's what you need on this weather.
Just come off of the river caves and the Big Dipper. I went on the Big Dipper first. My second wooden coaster, I was on a wheel seat again. I actually picked to go on a wheel seat just to see what it was going to be like, and it was mental, just as kind of to be expected. Although it wasn't actually running too badly, like it was enjoyable. There was a little bit of a jolt near the end, but it's kind of to be expected. And for a 100-year-old coaster with the brand new repainted onion for this year, or I think it's more of a water droplet, but I was just going around there now. But the park stated that it's an onion, but it was running incredible. The airtime on all the hills was incredible. The lap bar I think was a little bit tighter than the Nickelodeon Streak one, so it wasn't like stand-up airtime, but there was a lot more moments of airtime and faster pops of airtime. I still think it's the best wooden coaster in the UK. Like, there's just no way that for its age, and it still provides such a thrill and some of the best, probably the best airtime you can really get on the wooden coasters at this park. So that was incredible. Running really, like I say, it seemed to, even for a wheel seat, it was a little bit like rough around the edges, but it wasn't running too badly. And then I've just come off the river caves. My favourite dart ride here. I was going to go on Valhalla, but unfortunately it's still closed, so hopefully that can get back open, because I'm really looking forward to that. But at the moment, this is my favourite dart ride at the park. I just feel like it's completely underrated, because it doesn't really get the attention that it needs, really, and especially with all the animatronics working, and some of the scenes in the last couple of rooms in there, like in the scale of the set pieces in like the Egyptian scene and the Angkor Wat scene is incredible. And then you've got the Blue Grotto with its great soundtrack and the Inca scene. Yeah, that was running really, really well. And there's also some mist. I don't think I've noticed that before at the bottom of the drop, but I actually got a little bit of a light sprinkle from the drop. Got obviously the dinosaur scene at the beginning and the ancient China, and all the animatronics are fantastic in there. And there's even a submerged animatronic in the dinosaur scene. It's a bit decent splash on that one. So yeah, it's a long ride as well, and I think that's why it doesn't really like. That's why I think it's underrated, because it's such an enjoyable long ride, and there's there's just something to look at everywhere. That's why I do prefer the classic dart rides here compared to Wallace and Gromit, because I do like that. It's still one of the best in the UK. I think I just prefer the classic dart rides, because there's a bit more, there's just stuff everywhere rather than it being focused on one scene. It's just a bit more relaxing, really. But yeah, two classic rides, two of the oldest rides in the park. This is actually 1905, and Big Dipper is, of course, 100, so it's 1923. This is 118 this year. Incredible. And it is seen. That is a view I've wanted to see for a long time. Can't wait. I like all the lighting. Wow, that's symbols. All the themed walls for the boat over there. He's working. Right, that comes out.
Well, this is the only dart rod that uses screens, but they're very minimal, which I still like. Zombie head. Furnace. Ooh. Oh, the missing people things. They've definitely repainted that. Ah, in the crypt. Soul's funnel. There we go. Oh no, the train's going to crash. Look, you've got the end of the tunnel there as well. They've repainted these. There's another nun there. Here we go, the last jump scare. Hey! The Medusa. Yeah. Oh, good.
All the posters up.
We'll go somewhere where there's cheese. actually lifted up as well. All the mice, all the tools down there.
This morning, Gromit. Porridge today, lad. Tuesday. Is it supposed to do that? Don't worry, Mum.
Oh, that's moving forward as well. Oh, everything's working. There we go. I like the little truck moves forward as well. Oh, all the clouds and the stars. Comet plane.
Where'd you get that from? That's my machine. I've got patent pending.
Wow. All the movements.
I've got a problem with hands. Oh, no, Gromit.
Yeah, that's the next bit. First control.
Get me down. Now. Get me down, me monster. Oh, that's right enough. Don't be hearing from there.
There we go. So much movement.
25 RPM.
Oh.
That's rabbit
There's a train.
Well, that went as could be expected. Oh, that
Oh,
was
there's a gnome. Blah.
Can't wait to get back on it. Oh, I've just had a further 4 rides here at Pleasure Beach. I did the Ghost Train and Wallace the Gromit, which I managed to do a POV on. So I talked about them. There's some great details in those. And then I did Ice Blast, which I've got a photo for. And that was running really quite well. It's quite forceful as you hit the bottom, really, and the initial launch, just pack a punch as you kind of launch up in the view, because I was facing like that way towards the park. It's stunning, and it's like getting to dusk now. I've just come off of Valhalla. That really gave that time. Yeah, that was the best ride I've had on it today. I got soaked. I was on the back row, I was on the left seat, and I'm a bit of sprinkle from that. Yeah, I'm in the Valhalla sign on the station there, and all the dragon heads on top. But yeah, running incredible, and all the mist. Yeah, that was running incredibly. So I think I didn't mention earlier, you've got like the big hammers in the jungle scene and the sort of spiked log that rolls over. That's really good. And the hammers, you could sometimes get wet off those because like they're sort of kind of smashed together at the side of the trough of the ride. But it feels a lot more immersive in the dark, I think. But yeah, you've got like the into the afterlife through there, and you got this like hanging like sort of chandelier of skulls in a way. Sort of at the top of the second lift hill, because obviously it's got two lift hills, because the first drop's really small at the top of the turntable just there, where there's like a voice every saying to turn back. You got these candles on the front of the barrel, just there, and like a face sort of thing. But yeah, you got the jungle scene. There's all like wooden poles with like ropes wrapped around them, and at the end scene you've got like you've got like the flying skeletons. There's also a skeleton above the boat, and what I got this time was the big fire blast at the end, where you can feel the heat of it. It's huge, it's incredible. This ride, it's my favourite ride in the UK. Yeah, you get soaked, but it's worth it. Like, I've done it twice. I wouldn't normally do a water ride twice in one day, but because of the details, I just wanted to really take everything in. Because at the end you've also got all this like smoke at the sides of the trough as well, which kind of looks like fire, and then you've got the big fire blast at the end with like the big face. There's also like a Valhalla logo at the start, like that lights up, and the big like sort of V that's kind of in the shape of the boat lights up. There's also some like tusks almost, with like a pendant in the middle with the Valhalla logo on in the jungle scene, kind of in the middle, and then you got big skeletons standing there. Like it's worth coming to Pleasure Beach for dark rides, and this is by far my favourite. Like River Case is my favourite before, but this is incredible. As you see, you got the sort of drop, the first lift hill. You've got like a wolf kind of that sort of lights up in front of you as well, like a big wolf head. You've got the animatronic wolves as well, which are brilliant, sort of two-headed wolf, and then obviously it's just this ride. This is the main reason I came for it, because obviously it's reopened this year after a lot of closed time. They had a few issues getting parts for it, and I'm so happy it's open. This is a must do when I come to Pleasure Beach now, along with like Icon and Big One. Like this is up there. This is my second favourite ride after Icon now. Amazing. I just can't get over it. I still think that it just runs incredibly. You've got this sort of jump scare next to you in the sort of tunnel with the sort of lanterns. After you go past the lanterns, there's like a sort of jump scare at the side. There's also like air cannons, and you've got these like beams with like these red lights coming through, and it felt a bit warm in there as well. And then you got like the ice room with all the lanterns hanging from the trees, the sort of branchless trees. It's like the sort of winter aesthetic in there, and you've got all the frozen vitals. Like there's just so many small details on this, just got sprinkled again, and it's worth coming for this. Like this is the main reason I came. I'm so happy I've got two rides on it, and I think I'm going to do the big one because it's getting dark now. It's going to be incredible. Isn't this great at night? It's beaming on it. Great ride on the big one to wrap up this visit to Pleasure Beach. That was something else. I mean, back row, well not back row, but like back car, so it was the seats. sort of in front, so it was the second row of the back car, and it was quite intense. I mean, the first drop always gets you. You sort of get floaty a bit, like it just kind of whips you round. Anyway, it's really intense on the back because you just get pulled down. But I've only ever really done this coaster on near the back, really. So yeah, I think the way that, because I did the big one twice. The first time I did it, it was really rattly. It was because I did it on the back row of the fourth car, which I've also done before. Yeah, it was just really rattly. It was properly sort of bumpy on some of the elements, and I mean, I almost dropped into my seat on one element at the bottom of one of the drops. I think the retracking seemed to make a bit more of a difference with the non-wheel seat. I think you feel it's a bit smoother. It's not that much of a difference, but you can't really feel the retracking on a wheel seat because it's all, you know, it's more the profiling, I think, on some of the elements, because it's a lot of straight pieces of track downwards, and then you just straight up into the next element. But I still love it. It's my second favourite coaster at the park. However, my second favourite ride at the park now, after Icon, is Valhalla. It's incredible. There's a few things I didn't mention, like there's as soon as you go into the ride, like literally you go in to the ride, and then you've kind of got this Viking figure stood there as soon as you go in, with like the voiceover in the background, which is quite effective. And then you've got the sort of in the jungle scene, along with like the flying skeleton effects and the big skeleton stuff, you've got these like camo nets on the ceiling as well, which makes it a bit more immersive into the jungle, because it's all the different layers and the different stages of afterlife is what it says in the sort of room with the lanterns, and there's a bit more of a jump scare for the lanterns as well. But yeah, it's my favourite dark ride in the UK now. It's worth it going for that mainly. Obviously, since I saw it reopen in May, obviously it was in technical rehearsals in April, but it officially opened in May, and I've wanted to come down here and go on it since, but it was incredible. It was definitely worth the wait. I like how they utilise the barrel, because I don't mind the look of it from the outside, because it's got the mist effects. But, you know, I think, you know, Curse of Old Manor or The Haunting was probably my favourite dark ride before, but Valhalla is just shot up there now. I love this park. Before, it's always my favourite park in the UK, but it's sort of become even more of a great park now, even better, and it's gone all the way up to being my favourite park in the UK by even more of a standard because of Valhalla. It's really shot up, and also Enzo has given me a love for Icon that I didn't have before, really. Going backwards for most of it, like that was quite mental, really, but and it's still run really smooth. It's just there was a little bit of a jolt on it, but obviously not too bad. And obviously as well, the wooden coasters like Big Dipper was quite intense, and I think because I did that and Grand National back to back pretty much. I mean, I did have River Caves in between, but like those were, I think Big Dipper rides slightly better than Grand National. It's not much of a difference because if you're on a wheel seat, but I did Nick Streak on a wheel seat, and I've never really known that to be a bit rough, but it kind of was. But yeah, like River Caves, so the dark rides here are incredible. River Caves has got some fantastic set pieces, like the Temples of Angkor Wat, the big face, and also the big pharaoh statues in the ancient Egypt scene. It's always impressive how, for the age of the ride, 1905, how massive those set pieces are. Yes, some of the scenes were added after, but you know, you got the Blue Grotto with a great soundtrack as well, and the Inca scene. You got plenty of animatronics to see in there. Brilliant. I can see that. I like how the signs lit up now. For Valhalla as well, I did get some merch. I've got a little pendant that says Valhalla, Ride the Adventure, established 2000, because it opened in the year 2000 originally, and then of course it's reopened this year. It closed in 2019. It used to be quite unreliable, and they've sort of fixed it. So, you know, now you've got the forwards drop, but I do like how you got the voiceover with the turnaround, as you go around there and around the turntable, and then the drop, you doesn't feel like that much. You can feel it's quite a small drop, but you go in now pitch darkness. Whereas at the second drop, I think it's like a little like smoke effect, I think, just before the drop, as you're going down there, sort of after the ice room, and you go down the drop. Yeah, and then the third drop's got like a little skeleton effect, a bit like the flying skeletons that you see, which is quite a few of. And you got the bells as well. Just before you go down the last drop, there's like these bells ringing above. I think it's a lot of Norse mythology stuff that you kind of know more about if you went on the ride. I think if you knew more about that, you'd know more about the meaning of some of the things you see in the ride, like the sort of angel kind of figure in there. Yeah, and then even seeing the park from above on Ice Blast as well, that was really good because I got on the park facing side, so that was incredible. Yeah, it's been a great day. It was a bit interesting, obviously a bit different to normally what I'd do, doing like Big Dipper and stuff first, and then doing Icon Big One last, like, well, not last, but like quite late in the day. So yeah, like, it's been worth it coming for Valhalla. Like some of the effects you're seeing there, like the water vortex as well. I got quite wet on that when I was on the back row. Yeah,